All right, we're back. I'm giving the front camera now. Uh, it's been a while since I even did the front camera because I didn't really get a chance to groom myself. I think I'm gonna let the side grow and try to shape it up and see what happens. But basically, this thing gets scruffy very fast. But I don't feel too bad right now because I took a nice shower a few minutes ago. So let's get it. So I did the part one of this video already where I addressed a few things, and I ended it off with just having this mentor about 12 years ago. Now, mind you, I did not graduate school or anything. I believe I stayed in that school for about 2 semesters before I transferred to another school. And I had that advisor for maybe only one. I can't remember what happened, if he retired or anything. But like I said, a few things that he basically, by the way, it is cold outside right now. I'm very cold. I shouldn't be this cold, but it's a little nippy. But anyways, he sprung that on me basically, and he noticed something about me that I wasn't ready to address at the time, which was about allowing myself to be seen, because I grew up, sneaky, hiding from the world, undeserving, but at the same time saw myself bigger than life. It's kind of hard to explain, and that correlates with what I'm saying is that I have this channel where I don't want fame. I don't want to be known. Like, for example, there's a couple guys in the travel space where I'm like, man, they're so brave, until some controversy comes about, and I notice that even those people that so outgoing and things like that, with the wrong attention, with people attacking them, I see them breaking too. I see them kind of like retreating, and it's no different for me. It's just that it happened to me before, where I didn't even want my face on camera for a while. So now that I'm back, it's just that I don't just want anybody to be watching my videos or even pretending to support it. I really just want like-minded people to be here. People that could potentially needs my help. I'm really inspired by the artist J. Cole, where he had the talent and all that stuff, but it wasn't congruent with what rap was or hip-hop from his time. And he lasted a long time among some giant, where he was always different, and he had his hand in everything. Like, he cooked up the whole recipe when it came to like his albums and things like that, and he faced a lot of rejection before everything clicked. And as somebody who became a fan, like later on down the line, I'd say 2013, but he had been out since 2007-ish, 2008. But I caught on 2013, and I went all the way back, and just following that type of journey, and just seeing that he's not popular, meaning like he's very popular amongst his core fan, and the world could see him, but they can't touch him. It's kind of difficult to explain, but it's a big inspiration, because you know him, but you could say his music is sleepy, but it's selling like crazy. Like, it sells the right amount. Sometimes you see people rocking, know the words. He just, if you know, and we don't all have to have the same mentality, but I just would rather have that impact instead of just coming up in here and try to be like anybody else. I don't talk the language like everybody else, but you could understand what's coming out of my mouth. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm here for, and I want to be heard, man. That's what life is about, man. Feeling like you are seen, feeling like you are heard. It really makes life really makes life a lot simpler. Now, obviously, staying quiet too, because sometimes your mouth could put you in some trouble. You know what I'm saying? So there was a time where I wanted to attack controversial stuff, and now I know I could check myself. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I'm talking fast, and I'm kind of like all over the place. So it makes good for me to say, have a good night. I'm going to sit inside the car for the remainder. I needed to be charged to almost 100% because I start the weekend of Uber, right? And I gotta go out with a bang the next 2 weekends before I get on to my trip. Like I said, it's cold. I wish I could let the inspiration warm me up, but instead I felt like, I said enough. I got about 3 videos that I'm gonna upload anyways. Hopefully this is just the beginning. Like I said, last week when I was here, I set a different standard to the point where I'm not scared that I'm not gonna be able to top it, but I know when I do these videos, I could do a lot better. But the best thing is not giving up. You gotta continue. Oh, one last thing I forgot to mention. I'm looking into. I'm just gonna say it here because I don't plan on saying it to my everyday life, people that I see, people that even know me. I'm looking into trading. Now, I know there's a lot of things that I've started in my life and never actually finished, but it is an avenue that's going to allow me, that's going to go hand in hand. I might not quit my job this year or next year, but eventually if I could get good at that, that's what I see myself doing. Now, I had my hopes on getting a truck and things like that, but that's still like hard labor that requires me to be here and not traveling. So therefore, if I could put some money into my stock and practice and get better and not rush, because, I got an okay job, I still get to travel, but the next thing is to get a laptop and practice that, because a few good plays could get me out of the debt that I'm talking about, rather than struggling to pay it over time. That's what I need. But I know that that's something that I'm learning that's not going to happen over 6 months, over a year. So I'm giving myself a 4-year to get into day trade and see what's happening. So I'm probably not going to mention that too much or try to act like I know it all even a year from now. But, you guys are my people. You guys are like family. So I'm just documenting my life, my journey. So we're going to put it right there. Like I said, have a good night if you're watching this at night. Whenever you're watching this, if you're on the road and you just listening, man, shout out to you. I'm going to keep doing it with you in mind, just to keep the mind moving. Because sometimes we got our little thing going on, but we don't know what's next, man. We're trying to get to the next thing a lot of the time. So peace and hair grease.